Abigail spent 2 hours going through every document while asking questions about my mother's relationship with Howard and how quickly Rebecca had gained control. She explained that proving undue influence in court was difficult, but not impossible. The speed of the will change helped our case. The fact that my mother had cut me out completely after 34 years helped our case. Rebecca's documented history of lying about her health helped our case. Abigail said we needed more evidence before taking legal action, but what we had so far was enough to start building a case. She told us to document every interaction with my mother and Rebecca from now on. Record phone calls if possible. Save text messages. Keep a detailed timeline of Rebecca's escalating control over my mother's decisions and finances. Abigail warned us that cases like this often got worse before they got better, because manipulators like Rebecca doubled down when they felt threatened. I tried calling my mother 3 times over the next week, but she never answered. I left messages saying I loved her and wanted to talk. I sent texts asking if she was okay. Nothing. On the 8th day, Howard finally picked up when I called. He told me Rebecca had a health crisis after the party, and my mother was too stressed to deal with me right now. I asked what kind of health crisis, and Howard got vague. Something about her heart. Or maybe her lungs. He wasn't sure, but it was serious, and seeing me would make it worse. I asked to speak with my mother directly, but Howard said she was resting. He hung up before I could say anything else. I called Diane immediately and told her about the conversation. She added it to our timeline showing how Rebecca used fake medical emergencies to keep my mother isolated. Dylan called 2 days later with information that made my hands shake. Rebecca's supposed terminal illness changed depending on who she was talking to. He'd interviewed 3 of my mother's neighbors and one of my cousins who'd spoken to Rebecca at the party. She told my mother it was cancer. She told my cousin Sarah it was a rare heart condition. She told the neighbor across the street it was a blood disorder that doctors couldn't treat. Dylan said the inconsistencies were obvious once you started looking for them. A real dying person would have a consistent diagnosis and treatment plan. Rebecca's story shifted to match whatever got her the most sympathy from each person. Dylan was still digging into her background, but already he'd found gaps in her employment history and addresses that didn't match what she'd told Howard. He said he'd have more information in a few days. Lisa contacted Mia Contreras at the hospital. Mia was an administrator Lisa trusted who'd worked there for 15 years. Lisa explained the situation carefully, staying within privacy regulations, while asking Mia to verify whether Rebecca had been treated for any serious conditions. Mia spent 3 days checking records across their hospital network. She found nothing. No cancer treatment at any of their facilities. No heart condition monitoring. No blood disorder diagnosis.